beautiful people. Yes. Welcome to the Imperfect Daughter podcast. I'm your host, Karina. And this is my second time recording this because I'm a little bit dumb, but it's okay. We're going to go through it again. Hopefully now I won't mess up. But we're going to have a good time. If you found my little corner of the internet, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And really quick, this is my first episode, so I really want this podcast to just be like a chill place where I can just talk about topics with life experiences of mine, with story times, with just about anything and everything I want to welcome here. In a very, very chill environment. Not to say I won't be emotional at times because that's just in my nature, but I just want to have a good time. Sometimes I watch podcasts and I just have it on for background noise. And that works for me. Like, if I can do that for someone, that would be amazing. And if anyone listens to this and gets literally anything from it, then that's also amazing. And that would also be more than I would hope for. But without further ado, today's topic is the Tinder dating life. Yes. I have found myself once again in the Tinder dating life. On Tinder, just with the hopes and dreams of one day becoming a Tinderella. The Tinder dating life. I'm rambling at this point. I'm trying to drink water right now. It's kind of hard being like a solo podcaster. Usually, like, you have a partner and you can bounce off each other like that. But when you're a solo person, like, it's a little bit more difficult to navigate, especially when you need to drink water. I guess I could just edit all that out. None of this matters. Go on, Karina. Yes. The Tinder dating life. Now, let's be honest. Bumble, Moco Space, they just aren't working. They just don't work for some reason. Most people, especially at my age, are on Tinder. So that's what we use. That's what I feel like most people are being forced to go on Tinder because, especially now due to COVID, like, people aren't meeting. I don't know. I always use Tinder for everything because I have a really hard time meeting people in public, or like in person. I even have a hard time making friends. I don't know. I think I just have a bitch face, or I think I look crazy. I'm not really sure. I should probably ask people. Oh, right. I have asked people. They say I'm weird. So, I don't know. I think I give off a weird vibe, so people stay away. I do feel like I give off that. I feel like I have invisible, like, caution tape all around me. And people just, like, stay away, pointing, like, across at me. I don't know. So the Tinder dating life. I feel like if anyone actually saw me swiping through Tinder, they would criticize me heavily. First, upon looking at my Tinder, they'll be able to see that I, in fact, have a very particular type. You can just see it in all my matches and all the people who have messaged me or that I have messaged. It's all like the same looking guy. Yeah. I I don't feel bad about having a type. I feel like it's normal to have a type, and if you don't have a type, well, then that's fine too. Like it's all fine. No one should hate anyone for anything that anyone chooses to do, you know? So, um I think types can change as well. So just because I'm on like this type of dude doesn't mean like at some point I'm gonna, be into this type of dude. I feel like girls would understand that they have a type, and sometimes that type changes, and that's normal. But in my case, I feel like a lot of people would judge me and my type because of the type of person that I am. So I really like tall, skinny guys, and I'm a short, big girl. So I feel like people would say, how are you going to look for someone who's skinny when we're athletic if you're not, up to par? Like, how would that work? But it works. It works because I'm looking for guys who are into my body type and me, and into them and their physical attributes. I don't know. I think attraction is very important in choosing a mate, obviously, right? And just because I'm a big girl doesn't mean I don't have standards and I don't have um, types and things that I specifically am looking for. Like, it just doesn't, being fat doesn't equal desperation. And it shouldn't be that way. So, I have a type. And because of this, I am always swiping left, where I'm swiping left so often that I'll miss the cuties sometimes. I'll miss the honeys sometimes. I'm into men of color. So I'll just swipe left on anyone who's like pasty. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. And I think it has something to do with attraction. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but yeah. One of my exes and I talked about this, and they really opened my eyes to that, but maybe we could talk about interracial dating some other time. That could be another topic. But next up, those god awful pictures that guys post. Now, it's just in their DNA for men to not be able to take pictures. For some reason, it's not in their DNA. I have no idea why not. But I just hate those cliche, like gang signs, those like forehead pictures. The list goes on. Right now, I just tried looking for a bad like example, or like a good example of a bad picture, and I just couldn't find any. It was just wholesome pictures of men with their dogs and holding babies, which is a good one. Um, but sometimes, man, sometimes I just see the worst pictures, and I'm like, dude, bro, why? Why is this on your bio or on your profile? Sometimes I feel that way about my pictures, but it's fine. Who cares? Who cares? I'm so critical, and then also don't let anyone criticize me. What's up with that? That and the Tinder app, y'all. It is so buggy. I feel like it crashes often. Maybe, to be fair, it might be because I swipe left way too fast and it just can't keep up with it. But I feel like it shouldn't be so glitchy. It drains my battery, y'all. It really, really drains my battery. It shouldn't be that glitchy, and I don't know. It shouldn't crash on me. It shouldn't drain my battery. Look, I swipe right so often or left so often that, oh my goodness. I want to go swimming. Look, this guy, his eyes are like so close. Oh, look. His eyes are so close you can't even see them. He's obviously very, very high. Um that picture, look, and it's his only picture too. It's like a terrible bathroom selfie picture. I like when people post with their cats and dogs. I hate when people post like them hunting. It's an automatic swipe left for me. Um okay. I get lost in there so easily. Oh, but okay, so what I'm also looking for, I feel like this went so much better the first time around. But anyway, I'm also looking for someone or for signs that someone is just as kinky as I am on Tinder. So the way I do that is I'll leave DDLG on my bio. Um, and what that does is it invites the daddies to. I didn't expect this, but what it actually does is the daddies super like me, and they're like, "Oh my god, DDLG, you're a little girl," but you know, goes on from that. I also like to personally leave my Snapchat in my bio, just because like I don't actually get on the app too often because it's so shitty. Um, so I leave my Snapchat on my bio, so anyone who actually wants to talk to me can just add me. Honestly, guys aren't reading bios. It's also at the very bottom, but they aren't reading bios. So uh it works, it sometimes doesn't work. It also depends. Snapchat. Tinder won't like show your profile unless you're like in it regularly, like on the app regularly. So I don't know. It's really complicated. I guess it's not, but it would expose me. But I'm sorry I say but and and just weird things. Ah, sorry. My setup is not a good setup. Okay. So, those first crucial text messages are so important. And oh, see, I had such a good podcast going on earlier. Now this is all over the place, but we'll just keep going. So, with having to type, my pool of contestants gets so much smaller. Um, I have to swipe left on like 99% of people. So sometimes I miss the guys who I would be attracted to just because I'm swiping left too fast. And the app crashes because I'm swiping too fast because I have a very particular type of guy that I'm looking for. So when I act when I actually like a guy and I swipe right on him, it's 50-50 whether he's going to match me or not. It's whatever. It is what it is. So then we match. I'm not the type of person who messages first. Maybe I will if like I'm super interested, but usually nah, you're not going to see me messaging you first. And I just feel like so many people would feel like I'm being a hypocrite and being too difficult and too picky and too this, too that, especially because I'm a big girl who to most of society wouldn't isn't very attractive. So there's this notion that big girls are easier to get to because they have lower self-esteem and they're just so desperate that they'll have sex with anyone and they'll go out with anyone. It that notion has to die. That couldn't be further from the truth. Couldn't be further. I am so particular and picky, and it is not easy to get me into bed anymore. I used to be, but I think I would have been even if I was skinny. Like, I would have still been hypersexual. Regardless, there, I'm very, very particular. And that just makes my pool of contestants smaller and smaller and smaller. And then, so let's say someone who I'm attracted to, who we matched, sends me a message, and I don't like the message because some guys are so terrible at communicating. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how they type out the message and think it's okay. Ugh. I hate when guys are like, DTF? Link? Hey, sexy, what you doing? Want to meet up? Like, no. Give me. I want to get to know you first. I specifically put in my bio, I want a long-term relationship. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna have sex on the first night that we meet. In the first like hour that we've even known each other's of each other's existence. Like, that's just, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind, and it goes further than that. This guy straight up told me, like, I want my D down your throat while you read my tarot cards. Like, no, how dare you bring anything sexual into like my religion, basically. Like, stop. But what are you gonna do, men? I just, like, you can't go wrong with like a hey, what's up, or hey, how you doing, or hey, just something very like very, very simple and to the point. Not DTF, not link. Like, don't be that. If that's all you're looking for, then that's great, but don't match up with the girls who want long-term relationships. Like, nothing's going to come out of that. And if you because some guys will say like, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for that." Like, no you're not. No you're not. So don't act like you are. They're like, "Nah, you're just playing. Stop playing." Like, I'm not playing. I'm being legit. It's a rough life out there, man. It's a rough life out there. And as a big girl, I always feel like before meeting these people, even though I have BBW on my bio, I have I feel like I have to tell these people, like, "Hey, just so you're aware, just so no one's surprised here, I am a big girl." Just in case you didn't see on my bio. Usually most of the time guys are like, "Oh yeah, I know," or "It's okay," or, right. Like, they knew that, um which, thank God, it means that they read and that they have eyes. But I'm like, okay, but I just don't want an awkward situation where they see me and they're like, oh, this is not what I wanted. And I just want to leave those awkward moments behind. So, hey, just so you know, I am a big girl. And it really, really bothers me that in today's society, men aren't able to really enjoy a fuller figured woman just because society tells them they shouldn't be attracted to that. I recently saw Reddit on Reddit, on the popular trending tab. I think it was on Ask Reddit or something. It said, Redditors, what are your most unusual kinks? And I was reading through that comment section like a kid at the candy store. Like, it was so much fun. I felt so much less alone, and I learned so much about like human sexuality, I feel, and attraction. So what I noticed was that a lot of men are really into BBWs and bigger women in general, but they just don't really feel like they can come out and say it. Um like like I just saw earlier on my latest match is a guy with abs. Like, the last type of guy that I would think would be into me is into me. I don't know if he just wants to have sex. I don't know if he would actually pursue a relationship with me. But I just wish guys weren't so afraid to be into bigger women. That really hurts my soul. But it's also alright because it makes me appreciate the guys who aren't afraid of being with a bigger girl. I like being around guys who are so sure of themselves and what they are attracted to. And, I just love how confident they are in their desires. It really makes them stand out. It makes them who they are. I feel like it shows how confident of a guy he is if he's able to not care about what society thinks, and I find that very attractive. So, I think that's what I find very attractive about tall, skinny guys being into me, because it's so taboo. It's like, whoa, like, like my last boyfriend. We're in a really weird spot, but he's very attractive. And same with all my other boyfriends, honestly. They're so attractive. I feel like I would get looked at by people like, how did she get him? And well, personality, baby. But but I did get those stares and those looks. And likewise, I'm sure they feel some sort of way. Maybe they feel better, worse. I don't know. But I feel like someone can tell them, yo, you can do so much better. Like, go look at this chick over here and this chick over there. Like, I don't know. It's hard being a big girl. It's hard being a big girl and have to fight for yourself a lot of the time. Defend yourself. Even from people who try to pity you. It's like, don't pity me. I don't need your pity. But back to Tinder. I always feel like I have to tell guys, like, I am a big girl, just so you are aware. I also put on my bio that I'm emo, and guys will say, "Oh, yeah, I've been wanting a goth girlfriend." And I'm like, "You just read what you wanted to read. Like you I said I'm emo, not goth." Maybe they just don't know the difference, but there's a huge difference. There's a huge, huge difference. But it blows my mind that they just chose to read goth instead of emo. It's pretty funny. So then there's actually meeting these people. And this pool of contestants is even smaller. I'm not just inviting anyone to my house. Hell no. Oh, and that's another thing. Welcome to the Imperfect Daughter podcast, where we don't do conventional things. I don't like meeting people in public. It gives me the worst anxiety ever. And I have really bad social anxiety. What I choose to do, and I'm not recommending anyone do this, but what I choose to do is meet them at my apartment because I feel in control of my environment. So, let's say I didn't like a guy and we were out in public, like I would just have to sit there in such an awkward position and just I just want to avoid all that. Now, if I invite a guy over and I'm not feeling it, then he can just leave or I can kick him out and everything's fine and dandy, you know? So this is what I do. I invite a guy over. Usually it's after a couple days of talking, like through text or whatever. Invite a guy over. He comes over, and usually I sit down. We stay in the living room. Period. That's what it is. That's the main part that I'm trying to explain. But usually I'll play video games here, have them watch me play video games. That's fun. Or we can sit down and watch like YouTube or Hulu or just whatever. We can just chill. Or we don't have to watch or do anything. We can just talk. I like talking. So I don't have sex on the first date. So maybe this I'm talking way back then. Way back then. The guy can, we can make out on the couch or something and then just see each other later. Say bye, have a good day, whatever. Now, the next time we meet, it's kind of the same thing, but now I lead them to the bedroom. That is my way of telling them, like, okay, I'm ready now. So, I'm not going to say that that's the right way to do it or the wrong way. That's just my way of Tinder dating. um, no one's robbed me. Like in those situations, I'm a lot more careful nowadays because I have been robbed, but by people that I know, not random Tinder guys. I walk them out. I walk them in. I keep my eyes on them because I do have just expensive stuff just lying around, I feel. And anyone could slip anything in their pocket and, leave. So, I like I like dating these guys because, or I like The couple of things that I do like about dating is, well, the attention. The attention's fun. Meeting new people, it's fun. Free food is fun. Sometimes these guys will like bring me dinner, lunch, or whatever. Sometimes they'll bring me alcohol. Uh, Sometimes they'll bring me like, well, usually, so I'm a stoner. Welcome to the Imperfect Daughter podcast. I'm a stoner, and most of these guys I'm dating are also stoners. So they'd bring over a Rillo and we would have a smoke sesh and just chill and get to know each other. And I just feel like that really puts us on the same vibe, and we're really able to chill. And God, I wish I understood life and love a lot more right now, but that's where we are on that note. The Tinder dating life. I specifically didn't want to make this like a Tinder dating as a big girl. Because I feel like a lot of girls can relate to a lot of this, regardless of weight. But anyways, I want to talk about daddy issues. I want to talk about kinks, and I want to talk about mental health in later episodes. Here, let me write interracial dating. That would be a nice topic. And maybe I can put several different topics in one. Maybe like put daddy issues, kinks, and interracial dating in one, or something like that. Or make something else. I don't know. We can do a lot. There's an infinite number of numbers to number each podcast, so we should be fine. Sometimes I feel like I sound like Eugenia Clooney. I don't really want to sound like Eugenia Clooney. Clooney. But sometimes I feel like that's how I'm sounding. Maybe I'll find Amberlynn on the Tinder. Maybe Chantel as well. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on with our girls. But I think that's going to be it for me, y'all. Have a great day. If you sat through all this, thank you so, so much. And just whatever decision you're making from here on out, just try to pick the decision you'll least regret. Bye, y'all.